Alright, it's game day. I'm gonna film. Sorry, I'm just cooking steak right now, so it's pretty loud. I'm gonna film kind of what I do to get ready, how, and then I'm gonna have somebody take some clips of me with my camera during the game so I can show you how I played. But right now I'm gonna eat. It is like 3 hours before kickoff, or before we start warming up actually, so I'm gonna eat now, so by the time I get to play the game, right before I'm gonna have just like a couple dates. But I like to eat early, not anytime close to kickoff. So I'm gonna have a nice steak now, and then yeah, I'll just kind of take you along with me. All right, steak's done. I got pickles. I always like pickles on game day to prevent cramping, and then some sparkling water. The thing that I try to do the most and the most effectively on game day that's helped me is really mentally prepare. I don't think a lot of players think about their mental state enough. They kind of just show up. I try and visualize the game, think about how I'm going to play, think about when I get the ball, am I going to be effective, what am I going to do, how am I going to deal with when I mess up, because I'm going to mess up, it's bound to happen. Am I going to let that get to me, or am I going to just keep playing, bounce back? I think that's a very important part of preparation to play at a high level, because you have to be mentally resilient for getting benched, for missing a big chance and having everybody get on you because that was a chance you could have got back in the game, right? These things can affect you mentally. At any level of soccer, you have to have control over your mental thoughts, over how you're talking to yourself, over how encouraging and self-confident you're becoming. So one thing that I found that's helped is staying off my phone, just being in my head, being in my thoughts, getting used to thinking, right? And then trying to turn kind of my brain off during the game because I've prepped mentally for it. I've prepped, okay, I know what to do if I make a mistake. I don't think a lot of players do that. And then when they make a mistake, or they miss a chance, it's like the end of the game for them. They mentally check out. And you don't have the time for that at a high level because the game happens so quick. Things move so quick. That was annoying. So yeah, I think mental preparation as well as physical preparation are just key components to prepping for big games, or any game really. Like any game can be a big game depending on where you want to take soccer. But yeah, just a piece of advice. I always like to stretch out my hips like way before kickoff. I'll do more foam rolling like when I'm at the field and more stretching and dynamic stretching. But I feel like my hips are something that, like, if you don't open up that day, then they can give you some trouble. So here I do 90-90s. Not a lot of people feel this, but I feel that if I like turn my chest away, I feel it in this hip/groin area. I'd never used to stretch out my hips, and I always realized why they were so tight. I didn't realize why they were so tight, and I was like, oh, I wonder why. Then I started stretching them, and I became not only more mobile, but I got quicker, I think, because your hips are like your connecting piece from your legs to your torso. This is a really good one. I'm going to drive this knee into the ground and lean away, and I feel just all my hip here open up. Yeah, your hips are like the connecting piece, and they're really important for mobility as well as explosive speed. So if you want to be running at your top speed and be as agile and mobile as you can on game day, I always recommend opening up your hips and stretching your hips. I like to do it way before, but some people do it at the field or when they get there. These look funny, so they're hip circles, but just making sure I got 4 range of motion, mobility. I'm probably going to start on the wing today. We're playing on a grass field, so yeesh, you know, I don't like grass, but we'll make do. I'll do my best. I really, really want to score or assist, so in my mind I've just been playing over. If I get it on the left, faking the outside back to the left, cutting in, and then curling it far post, or arriving on the end of crosses. So like, I've just been playing that over and over, and so when I get to that moment, I'm just kind of locked in it. My reflex takes over. I don't even have to think. I can just, you know, put it in the back of the net. Yeah, I have a training session with this really, really talented kid in the area. One-on-one session with him, starting at 1 till 2, and then my game kicks off at 4, so I have to be there at 3. But it's close to the session, so I got some time to kill in between. I'll probably grab a coffee. I like coffee and caffeine before the game, like an hour before or something. Just gives me a bit more energy, gives me a boost. I used to not, because I wanted to make good decisions and have my heart rate be calmed down, but now I do a lot of breathing exercises to help me ground myself in the game. Like, I'll take breaths if I make a mistake to, you know, move on from the mistake and find the next moment, but I didn't used to do that, so I felt like caffeine made me too jittery and made me too jumpy on the ball. I would just make mistakes by playing the first option I have, or maybe making rash decisions. But I think breathing helps a lot with those things. All right, this is the worst. Getting on this with your hips hurts so bad, but I gotta do it. Oh. I'm not gonna video this. I'm gonna be like groaning in pain. I'll see you probably before my game.
Good. Go ahead. See inside.